It is exactly as he described.
Then the map must be inside.
This is Samuel and Victor.
They found the mine. This is your last warning, Elias. Give me the deed. This land belongs to her, Whitmore. You're not taking it. It is real. Wait here with Bear. Keep close to me, Clara. We are almost there.
Did you hear that sound? We actually found it, Elias.
It is beautiful, but stay close. I lost them both to the fever. I couldn't do a single thing to save them.
Elias, that's a suicide mission. That is where my father never returned. We are finally on our way.
There's a long ride ahead.
We will make it.
Keep the mountains to our left.
Elias, they are coming closer. Let's find a place to rest.
The first knock came at exactly midnight. Elias Boone looked up from the dying fire. For 3 winters, nobody had come to his cabin after dark. Nobody sane, anyway. His cabin stood high in the Colorado mountains, nearly 2 days from the nearest settlement. Snow covered the pine trees, the trail had disappeared beneath white drifts, and the wind screamed through the valley like something alive. Elias reached for the rifle, leaning against the wall. Then came another knock. 3 slow taps. Knock, knock, knock. He stared at the wooden door. His dog, Bear, lifted his head and growled. Elias whispered, "Whoever you are,
Steady, Bear.
you picked a bad night." The wind
I know
shook
they
the
are
cabin.
out there.
Then a woman's voice came from outside. "Please." Elias froze. "Please open the door." He stepped
Please,
closer.
you have to let me
Who
in.
are you?
I have nowhere
Silence.
else to go.
Then, "I don't want to die." Elias opened the door. A woman collapsed into his arms. She was young, exhausted, and covered
Dear
in snow.
God, you're freezing.
Her chestnut brown hair was frozen at the ends. Her blue dress was
Elias.
torn and soaked through.
I didn't know where
One
else to
hand
go.
clutched a
You're
small
safe
leather
now.
satchel against her chest. Elias caught her before she hit the floor. Easy. She looked up at him. For one brief second, their eyes met. Fear filled hers. Not ordinary fear, the kind that came from being hunted. She whispered 4 words. "Don't send me back." Then she fainted. Elias looked toward the darkness beyond his doorway. Nothing, only snow. But something told him whoever had frightened this woman was still out there. He pulled her inside. And before sunrise, Elias Boone would make a decision that would change both their lives forever.
Hang on, Clara.
Chapter 2. The Woman in His Bed. Elias placed her beside the fireplace and wrapped her in his thick wool blanket. Bear sniffed her carefully.
Hang
"She's
on,
not
Clara.
staying,"
Can you hear me?
Elias muttered. Bear stared at him. Elias sighed. "You know nothing about women." The dog wagged his tail. Elias carefully examined the woman's hands. They were delicate. Not the hands of someone accustomed to mountain life. A thin silver ring hung from a chain around her neck. No wedding ring. He noticed something else. A bruise around her wrist. Someone had grabbed her, hard. Elias's jaw tightened. He had spent years avoiding other people's troubles. That was how he preferred life. No town gossip, no politics, no promises, just mountains, hunting and silence. But this woman had brought trouble directly to his door. A few hours later, she opened her eyes. She immediately tried to sit up. Where am I? My cabin. She stared at him. You... Elias Boone. Her eyes widened. You're the mountain man. He raised an eyebrow. That's what they call me?
Why did you come back for me?
They said you were dangerous. Elias
I couldn't
almost
leave
smiled.
you out in the cold.
Did they? She slowly looked around. The simple cabin, the fireplace, the rifle, the animal skins hanging beside the wall. Then she looked back at him. You saved me. You were freezing. You could have left me outside. I could have. Why didn't you? Elias looked at the fire. I don't leave people to die. She studied him quietly. My name is Clara Whitmore. Elias nodded. Why were you running? Clara's expression changed. Fear returned. I can't tell you. Fair enough. You're not going to ask? No. Why? Because if you wanted me to know, you'd tell me. For the first time that night, Clara smiled. It was small, almost invisible. But Elias noticed, and something inside him shifted. Chapter 3. The Secret in the Satchel. Morning came with a blizzard. The cabin disappeared behind curtains of snow. Clara stood by the window. We can't leave. Not today. How
I'm
long?
afraid it's
Maybe
too
2
late.
days. Her face
Too
went
late
pale.
for what?
2 days? Elias looked at her. You afraid of being here? No. She looked toward the mountains. I'm afraid they'll find me. Elias walked closer. Who? Clara didn't answer. Instead, she grabbed her leather satchel. Elias noticed the movement.
It is exactly
You carrying
as he
something
described.
important? She held it tighter. Yes.
Then the map must
Money?
be inside.
Jewelry? No. Then what? Clara finally whispered. Proof. Proof of what? That a man everyone in town thinks is dead isn't dead. Elias stared at her. What man? Clara looked into his eyes. Samuel Whitmore. Elias knew the name. Everyone did. Samuel Whitmore had been one of the richest landowners in the territory. 6 months earlier, he'd supposedly died in a mining accident. His property had passed to his younger brother, Victor Whitmore. Elias slowly understood. You're Samuel's wife? Clara shook her head. His sister. She opened the satchel. Inside was a small journal and a photograph. Elias looked at it. Samuel Whitmore stood beside Victor. Behind
This
them
is
was a mine
Samuel
entrance.
and Victor.
Clara pointed to a
They
handwritten
found the mine.
entry. Samuel discovered something. What? He found out Victor was stealing gold from government land. Elias's expression hardened. And? Samuel threatened to expose him. She swallowed. 3 days later, Samuel disappeared. Elias looked toward the window. And Victor wants this journal. Clara nodded. He already killed 2 men looking for it. Silence filled the cabin. Elias closed the journal. Then he'll come here. Clara whispered. That's why I came. Chapter 4, The Mountain Man's Promise. That evening, Elias prepared his rifle. Clara watched. You're going to leave? No. Then what are you doing? Preparing. For what? The men who'll come looking for you. Clara's eyes filled with worry. You don't understand. I understand enough. They'll kill you. Elias looked at her. Maybe. You don't even know me. I know you knocked on my door. And you were scared. He stepped closer. That's enough. Clara looked down. Nobody had ever spoken to her like that. Not because they wanted something. Not because they wanted her money. Simply because they believed she deserved protection. That night, Clara sat beside the fire. Elias handed her a cup of coffee. She smiled. You're not what they said. What did they say? That you're cold. I am, she laughed softly. No. Elias looked at her. You're lonely. His expression changed. For years, nobody had dared say such a thing to him. Clara continued, You built this cabin far away from everyone. People disappoint you. Everyone? Almost. She smiled. Maybe you haven't met the right people. Elias looked at her. Maybe. Their eyes met. Neither spoke. Outside, the storm continued. Inside, something warmer had begun. Chapter 5, Footprints in the Snow. On the third morning,
This is your
Elias
last
found
warning,
footprints,
Elias. Give me
4
the deed.
horses, coming from the north.
This land belongs to
Clara
her,
saw his
Whitmore.
face. They're
Not
here.
taking it.
Elias nodded. How long? Less than an hour. She grabbed the satchel. What do we do? Elias pointed toward a hidden door behind the fireplace.
It is
There's
real.
an old mine tunnel beneath the
Wait
cabin.
here with Bear.
Clara stared. You have a tunnel? Mountain men keep secrets. She almost smiled. Apparently. Elias opened the passage. You go inside. What about you?
Keep
I'll
close
slow
to
them
me,
down.
Clara.
No, Clara, I
We
won't
are
hide
almost
while you
there.
face them. You will if
Did
you
you
want
hear
to
that
live.
sound?
She stepped closer. I came here because I believed you were different. I am. No. She shook her head. You're exactly like every man I've ever known. Elias frowned. You think you can decide everything alone. She put the satchel against his chest. If they want the journal, they'll come after both of us. Elias stared at her. Then he smiled faintly. You're stubborn. So are you. That's going to be a problem, probably. For the first time in years, Elias laughed. Act Chapter 6. The men at the cabin. 4 riders stopped outside. Victor Whitmore
This is your
dismounted.
last warning,
He
Elias.
wore an
Give me the
expensive
deed.
black coat and
This
carried
land
himself
belongs to
like
her,
a man
Whitmore.
who believed the world
You're not
belonged
taking
to
it.
him. He knocked. Elias opened the door. Evening. Victor smiled. We're looking for a woman. Lots of women in Colorado. Her name is Clara Whitmore. Never heard of her. Victor studied him. You're Elias Boone. Yes. They say you're a difficult man. They say a lot. Victor stepped closer. I'm offering you $500 for information. Elias shook his head. Not interested. 1,000. No. Victor's smile disappeared. Then perhaps you're interested in staying alive. Elias looked past him. 4 armed men. Then he calmly said, Get off my mountain. Victor stared. You've made a mistake. No. Elias closed the door. I made a choice. Inside, Clara whispered, What
I lost
happens
them
now?
both to the fever.
Elias looked at her. We
I
disappeared.
couldn't do a single
At
thing
Act
to
Chapter
save
7,
them.
the Hidden Valley. Elias led Clara through the underground tunnel. They emerged several hundred yards from the cabin into a hidden valley surrounded by enormous
We
cliffs.
actually found it,
There was an
Elias.
abandoned trapper's cabin.
It is
there.
beautiful,
Safe,
but stay
for
close.
now. Clara looked around. How did you find this place? I lived here before the cabin. You've been alone all this time? Yes. Why? Elias looked at the mountains. Someone I loved died. Clara's expression softened. Your wife? My brother. He swallowed. He was killed by men who wanted our land. Clara understood immediately. So you came here to forget? Something like that. She sat beside him. You don't have to forget. Elias looked at her. You don't know what you're talking about. Maybe not, she smiled gently. But I know what loneliness looks like. Their hands slowly touched. Neither moved away. Elias whispered, Clara. She looked into his eyes. For a moment, the mountains disappeared. The past disappeared. There was only them. Chapter 8. The Truth Beneath the Mountain. The journal contained more than evidence of stolen gold. It contained a map. Elias studied it
This is where we have to
carefully.
go, Clara.
This mine isn't where Victor thinks it is.
Black Ridge.
Where is it?
Elias, that's
Under
a
Black
suicide
Ridge.
mission.
Clara stared.
That is where my
That's
father
impossible.
never returned.
No. Elias pointed to the map. Your brother discovered an underground vein. And Victor knows? Probably. Clara's face tightened. So this was never about the journal. What do you mean? Victor wants the map. Elias nodded. And he'll never stop. Clara looked at him. What do we do? Elias answered, We expose him. How? Take the journal to the territorial marshal. Clara shook her head. The marshal is Victor's friend. Then we'll take it somewhere higher. Where? Denver. It was a dangerous journey, but they had no other choice. Chapter 9. The Journey. They left at dawn.
We are
Elias
finally
rode
on our
his
way.
horse. Clara
a long
rode
ride
beside
ahead.
him.
We will
For 3
make it.
days, they travelled through the mountains.
Keep the mountains to
They
our
talked
left.
about everything. Childhood, dreams, regrets, and slowly the wall around Elias began to disappear. On the 4th evening, they stopped beneath a giant pine. Clara made coffee. Elias watched her. What? You're smiling, I am not. You are. Maybe the coffee is good. She laughed. Then she became serious. Elias? Yes. When this is over, he waited. What happens to us? Elias looked at her. What do you want to happen? I don't know. He moved closer. I do. Clara's heart raced. Before either could say more, a gunshot echoed through the mountains. The
Clara,
horse
keep your head down.
Elias pulled Clara
Elias,
down
they
behind
are
a
coming
fallen
closer.
tree. Stay here. Elias! He disappeared into the darkness. Minutes later, the attackers fled. Elias returned. Clara ran to him. Are you hurt? No. She grabbed his coat. I thought. Her voice broke.
We're safe
Elias
now,
gently
Clara.
held her face. You're not losing me.
I won't
Tears
let
filled
anything
her
hurt
eyes.
you.
Promise? I promise. And beneath that ancient pine, Clara kissed him. It was gentle, uncertain, but real. Elias closed his eyes. For the first time since losing his brother, he felt alive again. Chapter 10. The Last Stand. They reached Denver. The journal was delivered to federal investigators.
We made it to Denver,
Victor Whitmore
Clara.
was arrested.
Let's
the
find a
stolen
place
gold
to rest.
operation was exposed. Samuel Whitmore was eventually found alive. He had been held in an abandoned mining camp. The truth finally came out. But Clara had one final decision to make. She could stay in Denver. She had family, money, a comfortable life. Elias knew it, and he refused to ask her to leave it. So he returned to his mountain alone. Weeks passed. Spring arrived. Snow melted from the pines. Elias repaired the fence around his cabin. Then one afternoon, he heard a horse. He turned. Clara was riding toward him. He stared. She dismounted. "You came back." She smiled. "I told you I was stubborn." Elias walked toward her. "You could have stayed in Denver." "I know. Why didn't you?" She looked around. The mountains, the cabin, the quiet valley. Then she looked at him, "Because I realized something." "What?" "I wasn't running from the mountains." She stepped closer. "I was running toward you." Elias smiled. "You sure?" Clara nodded. "Very sure." Chapter 11. What he did changed everything. Months later, the cabin looked different. There were flowers beside the porch, a second chair near the fireplace, a woman's scarf hanging beside Elias's coat. And every evening, smoke rose from the chimney. Elias still hunted. Clara still read beside the fire. Bear still slept beside the door. But the mountain was no longer silent. One evening, Elias stood on the porch watching the sunset. Clara came outside. She slipped her hand into his. "Beautiful." Elias nodded. "Yes." She rested her head against his shoulder. "You know what I remember most?" "What?" "That night." "The storm?" "The knock." Elias smiled. "You almost scared 10 years off my life." She laughed. "I was terrified." "I know." "And you opened the door." Elias looked at her. "You changed my life that night." She shook her head. "No." She squeezed his hand. "You opened the door." A pause. "I changed yours afterward." Elias laughed softly. Then he kissed her forehead. Below them, the valley glowed beneath the golden evening sky. The same mountains that had once represented loneliness now represented home. And Elias Boone finally understood something he'd spent years trying to avoid. Sometimes the greatest love of your life doesn't arrive when you're looking for it. Sometimes she simply knocks on your door at midnight, and if you're brave enough to open it, everything can change.